Hey there, Mavs fans. Harris Rubenstein here from NBA Weekly. With the offseason coming up pretty fast, there are plenty of Dallas Mavericks rumors to break down, including things with the NBA draft, as well as a couple possible moves that they can make in free agency. So without further ado, let's get right into those rumors. All right, let's take you through those top Dallas Mavericks rumors. We start with the first one. Do the Dallas Mavericks want Hassan Whiteside? Now, we're going to give this one 2 crying Jordan heads for now. People are talking. Now, this could go either way. I think that Hassan Whiteside would be an interesting player for the Dallas Mavericks to go after, but that contract as of right now is pretty ugly to trade for. As of right now, Whiteside is owed $25.4 million in 2018 and then $27 million in 2019. Now, the Mavs could trade for him if, quote, the Heat sweeten the trade pot. Now, this is coming from Mike Fisher, who runs DallasBasketball.com. So this could go a couple different angles with how the Mavericks want to play out free agency. I think it'll really determine what they do in the draft, which we'll talk about later, as well as what happens with other big-time free agent centers. But look, Hassan Whiteside is still a good player. 14 points per game, 11.4 rebounds per game, only about 1 assist, but he does play decent defense as well. But the biggest problem with him was that he was rendered completely useless in the playoffs. The Heat just couldn't have him out there when another team went small. He just couldn't keep up or protect the rim well enough in order for him to actually make an impact on the game. So if the Mavericks want to make a run at him, I think that he'll either have to, or excuse me, the Heat will have to eat some money, or they will have to throw in a first-round draft pick in order for the Mavericks to take his contract. All right, let's get to our second Mavericks rumor. Could Julius Randle be coming to the Dallas Mavericks? Now, we know that the Mavericks this offseason are going to be targeting some decent name free agents. As of right now, when it comes to Julius Randle, I'm only going to give this one 2 crying Jordan heads for people are talking, because I believe, as does Mike Fisher, that the Mavs are aiming much higher than Julius Randle. As of right now, the plan is still to go after some top free agent centers, including DeMarcus Cousins or DeAndre Jordan, but we'll get to that in just a second. I think Randle could still end up being a target based off what his market is when he officially hits the restricted free agent kind of market again. So I think he'll end up getting close to a max contract. I don't think anyone is going to throw Julius Randle's the full max. Maybe he gets somewhere close to $18 to $19 million per year, but I can't see anyone throwing a max slot at Julius Randle. Before we keep going with these rumors, let me break down what exactly these crying Jordan heads mean. 0 crying Jordans, it's a Matumbo finger wag. Get that stuff out of here. It is fake news. 1 crying Jordan, it's a small shred of truth, about a 25% chance. 2 crying Jordans, people are talking. 50-50, strictly in that rumor category. 3 crying Jordans, it's pretty likely, about a 75% chance. And then 4 crying Jordans, bang. This is a 100% fact. This is going to happen. All right, let's get into our next rumor. Are the Mavericks targeting DeAndre Jordan and DeMarcus Cousins? I get them mixed up all the time. DeAndre, DeMarcus, Cousins, Jordan, they're all the same player. Just kidding, they're not. But yes, we're only going to give this one 2 heads for now for DeMarcus Cousins and DeAndre Jordan. Now, this has gone back and forth in terms of a report the past couple days, actually. According to Mike Fisher, at least, the Mavericks might not actually go after either of these guys. So we're only going to give this one 2 crying Jordan heads for now, because the ESPN report from yesterday says that they're going to pursue DeAndre Jordan, DeMarcus Cousins, and Julius Randle. Now, I think that Cousins could come for less than the max due to that Achilles injury that he has to deal with. We know that he wants a max contract, possibly for maybe 5 years, but I think he could get somewhere between 2 to 3 years and a little bit under the max. But the Pelicans might just offer him the max contract, and the Mavericks would just be totally left out in the dust. But DeAndre Jordan is another interesting name. Obviously, I know, don't worry, Mavs fans, I'm not trying to trigger you with DeAndre Jordan, but if he ends up declining his player option with the Clippers, he will be a free agent, and he still would be an excellent fit with this Dallas Mavericks team. Whether or not they actually make a move for him remains to be seen, but I still think that he should be considered an option. All right, let's get to rumor number 4. Will the Mavs draft this year influence their free agent moves? Now, this is an interesting question, because over the past couple of years, we've seen it go vice versa, that what the Mavs want to do in free agency will end up influencing the draft. Not anymore, according to Mark Cuban. And really, it's not that surprising based off what happened back in 2013 when the Mavs got burned by trading Giannis Antetokounmpo because they wanted Dwight Howard. So now here we stand with Mark Cuban saying, quote, "It will certainly influence what we do," talking about the draft to free agency. To be frank, for a rebuilding team like the Mavericks, this is how it should be. If you can get a young player like a Mo Bamba in the draft, why throw max money at a guy like DeMarcus Cousins or DeAndre Jordan? I think this is the right way to do it. It'll allow them to allot money to other places where they have bigger needs after the draft. Gotta build with these young players first. We saw them not need a starting point guard because they got Dennis Smith Jr., so now I think we're going to see them take that a step further this season by maybe taking a center and not paying some crazy money for one on the open market. All right, let's get to our next rumor. Have the Mavs built their draft board yet? Well, this is an interesting one. I'm only give this one 3 heads. The Mavs actually haven't built their draft board quite yet. This is coming from Mike Fisher. Not going to give this one 4 crying Jordan heads yet because, again, this is still just a rumor. It's not 100% truth, but according to Mike Fisher, the Mavs, quote, haven't set their big board yet. Now, they are getting close to putting one out there with having DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Mo Bamba as the top 3. So it'll be interesting to see how the Mavs draft board officially works out. It could go a couple different directions. They do have the 5th overall pick in the draft. And based off our next rumor, which we'll just go into right here, are the Mavs going to draft Mo Bamba? Now, this is a rumor that we talked about last week when we did our Mavericks Rumors Roundup, and this rumor is back here again. But as we did last week, we got to stay consistent. Only need to give this one 2 crying Jordan heads for now because there isn't just 100% fact behind it. It's still going to be 2 until they draft him or we hear otherwise. Now, the Mavs are considering him as the number 3 player on their big board, which again, like I said, has not been created yet, so this is still just speculation. But Bamba will likely be available at number 5 overall. So if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you have Mo Bamba as a number 3 player on your board and you can get him at number 5, that's a pretty good deal for you. That's going to make you, that you're going to leave the draft being happy with getting Mo Bamba. Now, I think he'd be an excellent fit on this Dallas Mavericks team. He is everything that people thought Nerlens Noel was going to be. He can block, he can play great defense. He's a little bit soft, but I think that as he gets older and older in the NBA, he's going to bulk up a little bit and be a little tougher on the inside. I think that Dirk is going to help him with his jump shot, which, by the way, is better than people actually give him credit for. But Mo Bamba to the Dallas Mavericks, there's definitely some rumblings behind it, and in this case, I believe at least when there's smoke, there's going to end up being a little bit of fire. But that's going to do it for your Mavs Rumors Roundup. We'll see you in a second. That's going to do for me today. Remember to subscribe to the Chat Sports YouTube page so you can get a notification whenever we got some fresh Mavericks content for you. You can also follow me on Twitter at SportsTeam for all your NBA news and updates. But for now, we'll see ya.